They are families of intense belief, committed to raising their children in the light of faith, led by a preacher accused of controlling their minds.
And if there's any kind of way that you feel I'm going to control your mind, you get out this church.
According to a Virginia judge, that's exactly what Bishop Charles Keyes appears to be doing.
That church is a dangerous place for children, a place that children have no business going or being. Essentially, evil is the only word that comes to my mind.
The congregation, now known as the Trinity Apostolic Faith Church, first became the focus of controversy following the murder of former member Carolyn Clark.
She would be alive today. But folks meddling in other folks' business.
6 weeks before her death, in the midst of a bitter divorce, Carolyn filed this affidavit accusing Bishop Keyes of child abuse, cult worship, and mind control.
Now they're going to say that I'm cult teaching, but that's Bible teaching.
Her husband, Ralph, still loyal to his bishop, has confessed in court to bludgeoning Carolyn to death in the middle of the night on May 7th. She had just been awarded custody of the couple's 8 minor children and planned to flee the state by morning.
My wife has a beautiful personality, but inside, she was a monster.
Now, despite the tragic outcome, the underlying conflict between Ralph and Carolyn Clark is actually not unique. The I-Team's now identified 5 separate custody battles. Parents who've lost their children because of where they go to church. In 2004, Dorothy Butts packed up her 6 kids and headed to Ohio to join the church led by her cousin, Charles Keyes.
Did you tell Bishop Keyes that you didn't want to go because you'd be leaving your husband and dividing up your family?
Yes, I did.
Why did you go then?
That was my decision.
David Butts says he still loves his wife, but not her preacher.
I want my family back together. I love my wife with all my heart.
David is Carolyn Clark's brother. His wife, Dorothy, is Ralph Clark's sister. Multiple psychologists and social workers testified how each of the Butts children gave the same seemingly programmed answer about the murder of their Aunt Carolyn.
Well, she spread a lot of lies about the church. Her death was acceptable because she was causing damage to the church.
Well, maybe she didn't deserve it, but then again, she was talking bad about the church.
It's a theme adult church members shared with Fox 8 the day after the murder. Listen to the comment of Carolyn Clark's own son.
What do you want people to know about your mom?
She was a wicked woman. I loved her to death, but she was a wicked woman.
Ralph tried to explain to the system what a mean and evil wife he had.
Bishop Keyes also blamed the tragedy on Carolyn's alleged dishonesty.
If you walk deceitful, the Bible says the wages of sin is death.
According to the therapist, the Butts children demonstrated absolutely no emotional reaction to their aunt's murder.
I asked the simple question, how do you think your cousins felt? And one of the children said, well, they probably felt bad for a little bit, but then they were happy because their mom had been bad-mouthing the church.
Transcripts also reveal how each child repeated the same phrases to describe their father, calling their dad mean and evil, yet struggled to give examples of his alleged bad behavior.
If their father doesn't love their church, then he can't love them, and it was just all or nothing.
Now that their father's not in the church, he's really not their father anymore.
Don't you think it's a problem that calls Bishop Keyes dad?
No. I call him dad.
You call Bishop Keyes dad?
I do sometimes. He's a father to all of us.
For one person's cult may be somebody else's way to salvation. But I do know this. The children have appeared programmed. The language that would have come out of my generation would have been brainwashed.
After 2 days of testimony, Judge Kales awarded David Butts full custody.
Good reaction? Happy. I get to save my children the best I can. What's left over.
David now hopes to give his children what his sister died trying to give her own. the opportunity to live free from Charles Key.